that's a little bit funny. You usually would expect that you have to be on time, right? When you're doing an online interview. Actually, the reality of it is you need to be there 5 to 10 minutes beforehand. Hi there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Now my goal is at the end of this video is to walk you through the expectations versus reality when it comes to doing interviews online. Now if this is your first time on my channel, my name is Lacaba. I have been working from home since I was 15 years old and now run my own outsourcing business to XU here in the Philippines, and I post videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home. So make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos. Now this is part 2 of a series that I'm currently doing where I'm talking about expectations versus reality when it comes to working from home. The previous video that I did was an expectations versus reality when it comes to being a virtual assistant, but I also wanted to highlight interviews. Now interviews in itself is going to be nerve-wracking, scary. That's why I have like a ton of videos on how to do interviews right and how to answer the different questions. And I am someone who has done probably close to like 300 interviews in the last 5 years that I've been talking to people that I've been hiring online, probably 300 500, and I've now just have a whole list of my own red flags whenever I'm talking to people, whether it's in person or on video, especially during the pandemic where I'm all doing it all on video. Then for me as a recruiter, as someone who hires someone for my own business, I've known what are the things that a lot of people think that they should do before an interview and a lot of things that you don't really have to like really stress out about. The first one is that you need to have strong internet, right? You need to have like 30 Mbps, 50 Mbps. You need to like spend money going to a co-working space maybe just to get good internet for your interview. In reality, you just need stable internet. I've talked to people before who have 20, 30 Mbps internet, but it wasn't stable and the line kept cutting in and out. So you just need internet that's at least 5 to 10 Mbps. That's what I even have on my computer right now, and that's usually really good enough. You just, again, stable internet now, fast internet, because you don't have to pay a lot of money just to be able to get to the interview right away. Which brings me to the second one, is that you need the best equipment to be able to do the interview. The reality of it is that you just need to have a good enough computer with a good enough webcam. You can even put like a background if you want to. You can put like a Zoom background, and even you don't even need to have a microphone or anything attachments like that. You just need good earphones. That's the main tool that you really need, is a way for you to be able to hear the interviewer when they're asking you questions, and also a way for them that they can understand what it is that you're saying. 3 is you need to look super professional. You need to wear like a jacket and a coat, and in reality, kind of, yes, depending on the position you're trying to be hired for, but you just need to be casual. You need to be wearing something that you are comfortable in, so you don't keep like moving around and squishing around. I've done interviews in person where they can like putting on their jacket, off their jacket, and I'm like, do you just want to take off your jacket? That's okay with me, because it is distracting. So wear something that is formal but is actually something that you're actually comfortable with. So you could be wearing like a dress that I'm wearing right now, where it's like almost like a sleeve, but then it's not really, but then it looks professional. Make sure that your neckline is good enough. Like wear a polo shirt if you have a polo shirt. It doesn't have to be a full out, but it has to be something that you're comfortable with. So again, you don't keep like squirming in your seat even if it's an online interview. And next is something that's a little bit funny. You usually would expect that you have to be on time, right, when you're doing an online interview. Actually, the reality of it is you need to be there 5 to 10 minutes beforehand. Now, hear me out. Just because it's online, where you don't have to go through traffic or you don't have to like get up the elevator or do anything of that, you still need to be on time. But before that, on time usually means that you are getting late. A lot of the time, I would have an interview with someone and they would arrive, let's say the interview is at 8, they would arrive at 8. Okay, sure. But I'm more impressed when they're there already before I'm even in the Zoom room. So like Zoom will even be the one who will tell me like, hey, this person's already in your meeting room. I'm like, oh, I have to go in there now. Now, the reason why you want to do this, where you want to be at least 5 to 10 minutes early, is you never know if the interviewer is already there. Also, this is a great time for you to be able to test out your Wi-Fi, test out your video or your audio to see if everything else works and if everything else looks good. You want to use that time, that buffer time, to see if you are presentable, basically. Because again, this is a job interview. You have to show up in the right way that you want to show up as. Speaking of showing up, the next expectation versus reality when it comes to doing online interviews is you can just jump in. What I mean by this is no preparation at all, no like any research, but in reality, it will give you a lot of brownie points, a lot of bonus points when you do research the company that you're trying to apply for, especially if you research the job position itself or you asked the hiring manager or the person you were talking to back and forth what the job is about. The reason why this is going to be so impressive is a lot of people do just jump in without like knowing a lot about the job or the company. You want to stand out in that way by asking them questions specific about the job, for example, or the way that you answer their questions is aligned to who is the kind of person that they're looking for this position. Again, this makes you stand out because you're not one of those other people who just came in and just wanted to get started on their job. So as much as possible, try to research the company, even research the person who's going to interview you if you know them, or you can even ask the hiring manager of like, hey, what does this job entail before your interview? Next, expectation versus reality when it comes to having an online interview is just assuming that because it's online, you don't need to turn on your camera. In reality, yes, you do. It's one of the only ways that me as like a recruiter can know that you're an actual real person, you match your resume. And also since everything is online, it's the way that I can tell, like looking at your cues, at your signals, if what you're saying is actually true or not. This is why it's important that you look presentable, that you use at least a Zoom background if you don't have a presentable background, because this is a way for you to show up and show off to your potential employer what it would be like to work with you in real time. Next, expectation versus reality when it comes to doing online interviews is that it's okay to get a little bit distracted or to have on your phone right next to you. In reality, yes, we do notice if you get distracted. We do notice if you look to the side and look at your phone, even though you're trying to hide it from the camera. We do notice if a notification popped up into your computer and you look at it and you actually try to respond to it very slyly and as you're answering the question still, we do notice that. So try to make sure to free yourself from distractions before an interview. So that could be in a form of chucking your phone away. It could be in a form of you muting all of your notifications, or just having Zoom the only thing that's open on your computer. That way you don't get any notifications, that way you don't get any distractions, and you're just focusing on this job interview for the next 30 minutes to an hour. And then one of the biggest expectations versus reality that I see over and over again is you don't need to follow up. They'll get back to you. The thing is, they do get busy. Like I get busy. I forget sometimes that there's things that I have to do or following up with people. So it is now your responsibility. It has always been your responsibility as the applicant to follow up with the hiring manager, with the person who did the interview of where your application is at. I usually recommend following up after 3 days. That way that you gave them enough time to kind of buffer, trying to think about it, to see other applicants probably. So then you want to follow up if you have not heard from them after 3 days. It is just really making sure that you are still in the running or not, because then you can let go and then you can focus on other job searches that you're currently doing. Now, if you guys like this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there and comment below what other mistakes might you have done during an interview. Let me know and I'll make a whole video on my TikTok about how you could have solved it. And if you guys haven't followed me on TikTok, we just hit 31,000 followers on there, so make sure to find me on there. And if you haven't been subscribed, like click that right there. Click that subscribe button to see my videos every Sunday and Thursday on how to work from home and how to have a business from home. And you guys can check out the latest video right here. I hope you guys have an awesome day. And remember that small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!